Hi, everyone. This is Dan Toner, the health insurance broker for Windmill Alliance. I'm here today in August to explain our open enrollment for our medical plan. Currently, we're with AmeriHealth for medical and prescription. And starting October 1, we're going to transition to Oxford United Healthcare. You'll be receiving an email from Joanne and Stacy with these attachments. So I'm going to go over them with you guys and answer any questions you have. If you want to email me, that's great. I'm going to give you my contact information as well. Starting October 1, again, we're going to transition from AmeriHealth to United Healthcare Oxford. If you notice on the memo, there's a couple of different points that I'd like to highlight. Number one, we're going to maintain an HSA. Those are the high deductible plans. You can certainly open up an HSA bank and fund money into that if you want. The insurance company, in this case, Oxford, formerly the other AmeriHealth plan, they don't care if you have an HSA bank account. That's up to you, but you can put pre-tax money into a personal HSA bank account because of the health plan. Windmill does have an outside company called OCA that is reimbursing you for your deductible. So the deductibles are $2,500 if you're single coverage and $5,000 if you have one or more dependents. You must meet that deductible first for any medical care. OCA is going to reimburse that through Windmill Alliance, or I should say Windmill Alliance is reimbursing that through OCA for you. So you should have an OCA account. If you need help, let me know. And if you have a deductible expense, it will be reimbursed. We're going to continue that. You don't need a referral from your primary care to seek care from specialists. It's an in-network only plan, but if you have an emergency and you're rushed someplace, it doesn't matter if they accept Oxford United Healthcare, you do have coverage. The one benefit that is paid at 100% without the deductible is your well visits. That's the same with AmeriHealth. The way that Oxford and United work together is they provide a national network. So the good news here is if you remember from AmeriHealth, you only have a New Jersey only network. You had to buy the other plan to give access to Emblem. You don't have to do that. Very simply, we're using the Oxford Freedom Network, and that's going to be in New York and New Jersey. So it's one plan. You don't have to upgrade and buy a different plan like you did with AmeriHealth. The one plan that we're offering has both New York and New Jersey providers. And remember, you don't need referrals. And it is Oxford's largest network called the Freedom. To make it even greater than AmeriHealth, if you're outside New York and New Jersey, you definitely have emergency care like you did with AmeriHealth, but you don't need emergency care. You can actually have non-emergent care with the United Options Choice Plus network. So if I need to go to Philadelphia, if you need to go to Florida or Texas or Connecticut for non-emergent care, you can use the United network. So it becomes a seamless national network. Again, if I'm in New York and New Jersey, I'm using the Oxford Freedom. And if I'm outside New York and New Jersey, I use the United Choice Plus network. So it's certainly a bigger network than we have with AmeriHealth. As I mentioned before, we're keeping the deductible the same. So you owe the first $2,500 for single and the first $5,000 if you have dependents. And again, that's going to be reimbursed through OCA. There is the Freedom Network. Maximum out of pocket is $5,000 for single and $10,000 for family. What does that mean? After you meet your deductible, you will pay items like a $25 copay to go to the doctor. Notice 25 AD after the deductible. If you see a specialist, you'll owe $75 after you meet the deductible. For those that don't meet the deductible, you're not really caring about what happens here. But for those that do meet the deductible, it's important to know that you owe very little copays to the doctor after you meet that deductible. Now, there's 20% coinsurance where 80% is paid by the carrier, Oxford and United. What that means is once you meet your deductible, you'll owe a doctor copay, a pharmacy copay, but things like hospital and surgery, you're actually required to spend 20% of your own money, however, the worst case scenario is $5,000. And that's inclusive of the deductible. So think about it this way. If you met your deductible in July and you go into the hospital and have a $100,000 bill, you'd owe 20% of that, but only another up till you hit 2,500 of expenses, because the 25 plus the 25 is 5,000. So in other words, you are capped. That 20% will never be more than 2,500, because then you would hit the 5,000 and then you're 100% covered for the rest of the year. So your expenses are very little after you meet your deductible. Windmill made sure they wanted to give you the richest coverage possible. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. But the benefit summary is here, and it's actually written in a little different way on the summary of benefits coverage. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. On the My UHC website, sometime in the middle of September, you're going to be getting a ID number. We want you to go to the My UHC website and go to the member section to enroll. You can then see your EOBs, print your own ID card, because a hard plastic one comes about 2 weeks later. But you could do a ton of stuff, including UHC tools. So if you look here, like health programs, teledoc, healthcare tools, I do want you to click these hyperlinks and see they have rewards program, smoking cessation, mental health, employee assistance programs. So there's a ton of information that they give you. And I think it's important to not only log in, but actually see all the resources that Oxford and United Healthcare are giving you. Going back to the memo, United Healthcare and the new Oxford plan should be very comparable in cost to the AmeriHealth plan. You are required to pay 30% towards the single rate, because Windmill is going to continue to pay 70%. Any deduction that you have is going to come out of your paycheck pre-tax. I've given you the contact phone number. It'll be on your ID card, but this is the United Healthcare. The website, again, is myuhc.com. And this is my team. My name is Dan Toner, and Amanda and Leslie work with me, and we're your resources here. So again, that's our contact information if you need to reach us. Again, we will be submitting this right after Labor Day. So it's important that you let Joanne and Stacy know right before or right at the end of Labor Day weekend if you're going to add dependents, if you're making a change, if you're new to the plan, if you're coming off. We have to have that information in the early part of September to the insurance companies so we can make sure that October 1 transition is smooth. I thank you for your time. Have a great day.